Good day, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Tuesday, the 9th of September, 2025. And the overflow today is the art of management. Management. What is it that comes to your mind when you think about management? Management is an art. Let's get into it. It's 5:32 in the morning. And management is the ability to work with the resources available to you in the most efficient and effective way possible. Right? So it is the ability to work with the resources that you have and to doing that in the most efficient and effective way possible. It's not only about managing things or people, but it begins with managing self. Everything begins with self, right? Managing yourself. Your first resource is yourself. Your thoughts, your emotions, your energy. So if you cannot manage your own inner world, you will struggle to manage projects. You will struggle to manage teams and to understand people, or even your family, right? Mm. Now, cascading in alignment. It's an interesting concept. Good management is like a cascade. In organizations or big companies, information and goals flow down from one level to the next level, so creating alignment. And so in your life, it works the same. When your values and your priorities are clear at the top, they cascade into your own daily actions, in your habits, and your results as well. So at the management level, in your head, you are a corporation, right? You are an organization inside of you. So there must be clarity and priority at your board of directors inside of you, creating the values, creating the culture that you want to operate yourself as you Inc., right? So the first management is managing yourself, right? What about change and momentum? Whenever you introduce change, because change takes place, whether you like it or not, things are taking place every day externally in the country we live in the town we live in the company or organizations we work, there's always change taking place. How do we manage the changes within us so that we can operate externally? Whenever you want to introduce change, you need to support it until it becomes a habit. It needs to go into you need to focus on habit formation. And that requires follow-up. That requires training. That requires persistence, catching up with people, catching up with yourself when you are assessing your own performance. So momentum builds when you invest consistent energy in the process. Consistent energy and focus and follow-up. It is boring sometimes, and we need to embrace boredom. Oh, another meeting, another session, another reflection, another conversation. But that's management, right? Now, balancing people and numbers. Balancing people and manage. Good management balances numbers, results, efficiency, costs. If you're working in a company, or even if you work in a non-profit sector, like myself, uh, you still need to, your numbers needs to balance, right? In fact, there's a whole book in the Bible about numbers. Numbers are important, but people are important. Relationships, well-being, development, right? If you only look at numbers, you risk creating a culture of burnt out and slavery, and people feel bad when they work under you, under your management, because they'll say, oh, this guy doesn't care for me, he only cares about results. And maybe you have work in a place, in an environment where your boss, your manager, your supervisor, he was just a slave driver, right? Just pushing for results, but there was very little care to even asking, how are you doing? How was your family? Did you have a good Christmas? How was your holiday? How was your break? But if you only look at people, you may end up with charity. Then you are not, you're not productive. So wisdom is to keep the balance. You keep an eye on the numbers, on the results, on what is being produced, and you keep an eye on the team, on your people as well. And that is good management. Now, and you do that keeping an eye on the purpose of the organization, because these days people very much looking for meaning, purpose. Why do we do what we do? And sometimes people just have a big job, a job, because they need to make an income. But how do you inspire someone working for you, working in your team, when you know, you sense they are there just because they need a paycheck? How do you inspire them? How do you inspire them the reasons for the organization, the existence of the organizations, or the existence of the company? What is the service the company is providing? How it is supporting the community? And that's a challenge for the manager. Inspire your people to perform well when they are there only for the money, when they actually do not like the job, when they are there only for the season. If they are perhaps a student, but they need a job and they are there working for you. And it's a challenging question. But as a manager, you want to a productive and committed team. But what story are you telling them? Because it's all about storytelling, right? What is it that can inspire them to give their best, even on that season? Apart from making a living, what is it that they're taking out of their role in the company or from that organization? Are they learning and developing skills? Are they building friendships in that company? Do they feel valued? Are they valued for what they do? Are they valued as a person for what they do? And these are very important questions for us to ask. What about problem solving? So management is also problem solving. Issues should be handled in phases, not in chaos. Sometimes something happens and chaos everywhere. How am I going to handle that? A machine broke down, or suddenly a customer, I have a problem with this supplier, or the customer came back with broken pieces and they're not happy with the services we're providing. How do we deal with those problems? So simple problems can be solved in 3 phases, right? There are moderate problems. You may need more than just 3 phases. There are complex problems. You may need more. Breakdown, involve many people, deeper discussions, and asking very good questions to people. Find out, go deep. What is the issue? What is the problem? Listen to those around you. Listen to those who are benefiting for the service that you have, right? If you work in a custom-based environment, like directly with a customer, like I'm thinking about shop, retails, or a coffee shop or restaurant, you are with the face, and sometimes you can see the customers are not happy. Can I speak with your manager? They want to speak with the manager, and the manager needs to listen to it. What is it? How we didn't make your day, your service memorable, and how can we do that? Right. And sometimes, because I did work in retail for a number of years in the past, the customer just want to vent. They're having a very bad day. And you take the 2-3 minutes to listen to them, and they calm down. You perhaps offer something for free or give them a voucher, and you be at peace. It takes a lot of emotional intelligence. So good management is EQ. It's understanding people, looking people in the eye, trying to understand and looking at a soul, a person that is there crying out, complain perhaps with reason because you haven't produced a good service and they are paying for it. And they are frustrated perhaps because they need what you have and you have not delivered. But engaging people at a human level, and that is the bottom line to start solving problems, because the problem is involved with people, right? Most of the time. Now, if you're managing a project, and there's an example here that I got from nature, which is the human gestation, right? What we need a seed, a sperm, we need a womb, an egg, which is the soil prepared to receive that seed, that idea. Then conception happens, and then there is this development phases that go through 9 months until the birth of the project, the birth of the baby. And then after that, you need to follow up with nurturing, growth. And projects is pretty much like that, starting with an idea, and the idea is planted in the mind of others, and you come together to work the preparation phase before the project takes place, or before you give birth to a project, to a company, to a business, whatever project you might be involved, project of the house. And your project follows similar circle. They need time, they need attention, they need protection, they need nurturing, they need maturing, right? And if you have a baby that wakes up at night, sometimes a project will wake you up at night for you to care for it, think through it, through problems, connecting with people, staying late after the hours, arriving earlier to tackle, to care for this baby, the project that you are working on. Now, tools for good management. A good tool, it is a very simple one, and you probably know that, is learn to say no to the unnecessary so you can say yes to what matters. There are many good ideas or good things that you could be doing, but they're not, perhaps they do not matter at the time. So you need to have a checklist. Management without a checklist is chaos. What is your checklist for what you want to accomplish that week, or the day that, or for that day? Make your project visible, and I have that. I have it visible. Ian Madgan, hey, hi. Good to have you here, Ian. Thank you for engaging. So make your project visible. I have on my walls things that I can see with the time, things that I'm involved, because it's visible to me. But of course, you organize that the way that is meaningful to you. Write them down. Some people have their computers with their little paper sticks all over to remind them of the things that they are doing. The timeline, project, contact someone, or they have things popping up in their computer. Today there's beautiful management tools out there that you can use. I use Microsoft, and it helps me with my tasks. But the focus is on completion, right? Your focus is not just starting a role, but make sure you start a task and you finish it. Sometimes I do have open things that needs closing, connecting, following up. I work with human resources, and then I need to finish conversations, finishing a process, sending documents here, processing, following up our conversations that we had. So things needs to be closed. And sometimes people are waiting on you to bring a closure to whatever you have started. So not just started. Starting is great, but you need to bring things to a closure to complete the cycle. And if you cannot complete, delegate it. Share it with your team, pass it on to someone. So what about management in your life? You are the manager of your own life. You're the manager of your future, of your happiness. And if you are managing your life based on principles and values that can make you grow, that can make you develop further, that you're paying attention to the details on your own life and paying attention to the resources that we have. Remember, we started saying that management is it's part of it is managing resources and people, managing yourself as a resource, the energy that you have, managing your health. Well, because it's with your body that you go out and you do things, that you engage with the world around you. How are you managing your own health? Because poor management will drain your energy and can make you sick in the long run, right? Now, in the scripture, we have a very interesting couple of verses from Jesus about management. And he says, suppose you want to build a tower. Once you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete, you probably haven't, he probably do not, maybe you're not aware that Jesus said that. Yes, Jesus also talked about management. Once you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it. For if you lay the foundation and are not able to finish it, everyone who sees it will ridicule you, saying, this person began to build this tower and wasn't able to finish. So if you are building a project, sit down, estimate the cost, plan it first, and that's good management. What is it that you need in order to fulfill that purpose? In order to finish that task, complete that purpose. Sit down and estimate the costs. There is a cost involved. And even building a relationship, starting a relationship, there is a cost involved, right? Cost of time, energy, focus. Another verse in Proverbs says, do you see someone is skilled in their work? They will serve before kings. They will not serve before officials of low rank. So it takes skills, it takes discipline to learn a skill, to increase your capacity and your ability so that you perform well in your role. And it says if you are good in what you do, you're probably going to serve before very influential people. And this is not wishful thinking. So there are many management theories out there. There are many great channels you can listen to and learn from. But the bottom line is clear priorities, Make sure you have your values, your culture, your principles. Is that your personal values, but also the values of your organization that you work for? You balance the focus on people, but also on results. Keep an eye on the people, but keep an eye on the numbers especially. Because without the numbers, the right numbers, you can't keep the people. You need to let them go. But people need to be esteemed, and they need to know that they are doing a meaningful work. And it's your job to inspire them, to keep them inspired. A few activities for you before we close. Make a list of priorities in each area of your life. Your routine, the activities that you do personally that is meaningful to you. What are the things that you need to stop doing? What are the things that you need to start doing in order to improve your productivity, to increase your self-management? Ask why for every task that you have and remove what is unnecessary. Why am I doing that? Why do I do that this way? So ask yourself for the why. Number 3, focus on completing tasks. If you can't complete it, delegate it. Don't just start things and you have many things open. Sometimes like my computer screen with many windows open. I don't even know what I was looking at this website again. It's the overwhelming of information and attention all over the place. And sometimes you get a phone call or you have someone come into your table or come into your office and ask for things. What was I doing again? So focus on completing tasks. And if you can't complete, delegate. Why say hi, hey, thank you, why, for being here. Whoever you are, thank you for the engagement. So share what you have learned with others. That also improve your learning. I mean, if this has been meaningful to you, share it with others. There are many great resources on management out there. This is just a drop in the ocean. It's myself being meaningful to you with what I'm learning. I am learning about management. I am seeing what are the areas that I can learn to help with my team. I work with a small team. You may be leading a big team, a big organization, a big department. So there are many great tools out there, but it always starts with managing self, understanding yourself, and then understanding people, and then keep an eye on the numbers, right? Now, the last thing I leave with you, celebrate results. Enjoy the fruit of your good management. If you had a good day, celebrate that good day. Acknowledge people. Hey, you did really well today. I saw you talking to that customer. You were spot on. Sometimes we will talk to people when they do not do a good job, and we tell them, hey, you need to improve on that. But also celebrate when they do something good. You see them smile. You see them giving their best. Perhaps it's a difficult day. That someone in your team is struggling at home. Perhaps is struggling in their marriage with a child and so on. Encourage them. Give them a positive or tell them that you care. You are not just interested in the work they can do for you or for the organization, but you really mean. Write them a card. Right? Celebrate people's birthday. That can be so meaningful. Because you do not know in the childhood of that person, perhaps they never celebrate birthday. Everything they wanted is someone to remember that. And we've done that in the past. Get a little cake. Get people come together for 5 minutes. Let's tell Johnny here, hey, happy birthday. Have a fantastic day. This is a voucher from us. That can be so meaningful when you're showing care towards people. You can see your work in human resources. So guys, this was it. Management, the art of management, just a drop in the ocean. I leave you with a question. If you were to manage your life as carefully as a great leader manages a company or an organization, what would you start doing differently today? and put that in practice. Take time to reflect, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll be here tomorrow again with another thing. Who knows? Hey, God bless. Thank you for coming. Ian, thanks for the engagement. Why? Thank you for coming. If you're not subscribed to the channel, join us. Find out more about wisdom, etc. Yeah. Hey, God bless. Bye for now.